Good morning. It's September 15th at 8:30 a.m. and we are here to begin the week with a Central Services update.
Good morning, Commissioners. And did I hear you say that Commissioner Carter was online? Good morning, Cindy, as well. So first of all, on consent, I've got a very quick update, and then I'm going to ask to go into executive session about personnel matters, disciplinary matters, I guess, for part of it. So on consent, item number 2, Fairgrounds approved to request a purchase for lights of lights from Platte Electric. Again, this is to replace a bunch of old THT12s. We're using capital funds left over from other projects, and this will be a project they do this winter that gets rid of a bunch of the old fluorescent tubes and gets LED throughout many of the nonprofits, the food booths, nonprofits, and the livestock barns.
Tom, I just want to make sure because I'm confirming. I believe when you put that capital purchase in, it included all the lights, so it's kind of the same line item, correct?
Yes. 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 So, and number 12 is the approval of a A&E agreement with Kaufman Engineers. This is below $20,000, does not require the prosecutor's office to review it. This is an agreement with Kaufman Engineers to do the required engineering for the Wheeler Road facilities and give us bid documents to go out to bid and get windows put in. The costs for this is $13,120, which is going to be paid for out of professional services. This is a fund that we have set up exactly for firms like this to do this kind of thing. So as soon as that's signed, they'll start putting together drawings, looking into the building, figuring out exactly how we can install those windows, and then we'll put that out to bid. And the last item you're aware of already, it's a fairgrounds deal. It's the approved request, and it's approved request to waive the rental fees for the 2025 Lead Summit, which I think everybody was on boards with. I can't speak today. I'm having issues with my lip and my lips and my tongue today. So fairgrounds this Thursday night is a volunteer appreciation dinner that I'll be attending, and Friday morning we do have budget discussion scheduled with all staff, both the fairgrounds staff, the gym staff, and the maintenance staff. Moving to the coroner's office, I have not received the signed contract back from Lighted Construction yet for the GCCM. I know that their attorneys were reviewing it. I have received the contract from the architect. It's a separate contract, just like we did for the jail. And it's modeled after the GCCM rules with costs based on the Washington State guidelines for A&E services. They have to follow an RCW in what they can charge us and what they can't. These are all regulated by the state. So once I receive the contract from Leidig, I'll be bringing both of those to the board for signature. On the jail, the exterior panels continue to go up, and we've reached a point where Leidig's safety and risk team will allow me to provide tours to the public. So I'll probably do something on Facebook and try and start doing some tours with public members so they can see where their tax dollars are going. But that's really exciting. That's a big step out there. And Will Rutherford, the architect, will be here this week. We've got a week full of meetings on both the jail and coroner's office. The email I sent earlier was just to keep the board informed of what those meetings are about. And I know that Joey, I think, is out this week, but Gary Mansford is scheduled to meet with the architects so they can kind of dial in their budget. And for Craig, this is going to be the first time he meets the guy, Andrew, who's going to be the superintendent for Leidig, who's running that whole project. And we'll be doing, I'm sure we'll go out to the site, and Will has a plan for a temporary morgue, and he's working with MOPEC and another company on how best to do that. We're kind of stopped in what we can and can't do and how far we can go until the contracts get signed with both Leidig and the architect. So, but as soon as they are, we'll start talking a lot more about the temporary morgue. So. For the CSHR building, paint and weatherproofing continue this week. And this week we will also commission the building, perform our punch list with the contractor. So depending on what needs to be fixed, in the next week and a half, they'll be turning that building over to us, and that will be complete except for our furniture and move on. And lastly, before I ask for an executive session, I did state to the board that I had to write letters to the tribes regarding the bleachers work at the fairgrounds in order to get the grant from Commerce. That was done. Those were sent out to the affected tribes or the tribes that would consult. And now I just need to follow up with Commerce. The last time I spoke with Commerce, It didn't seem like they were going to require the 30-day wait to honor the grant, but who knows? They may still say, no, we have to wait the 30 days for them to respond, and then we'll work on the A19. But it was $225,000. So
if they don't respond, then they'll just move on.
we'll just move on. Yeah. So, and again, this is the third request to the tribes for the same parcel and address on a separate project. The only time I've ever had a response was from Spokane Indians, and it was always them saying, you don't need to send this to us. But according to everybody in the state, they do. So the other interesting thing to note is I was talking to the Washington State Department of Agriculture, and she was surprised that I was sending out those letters. She goes, the tribes had stated emphatically that they don't want to hear from department heads or they want to hear, or commissioners even, they want to hear directly from the state entity issuing the grant. And she was really surprised that Commerce was not sending those out, because WSDA, whenever we do one of their grants, they send that letter out prior to awarding us the grant. So she was kind of surprised. So maybe they're just doing things a little bit different at Commerce. I don't know. Anyway, so that's all I had. Any questions about any of that before I ask to go into executive session? Okay, with that, for disciplinary and personnel matters, I would like to go into an executive session.
How long?
Probably until we're done, 9 o'clock.
All right.
That was a good answer, until we're done.
Yeah.
We're done talking about it.
Pretty much sums it up.
We'll be going into executive session, beginning at 8:37, coming out at 9 o'clock for RCW 42.30.1101F, personnel disciplinary matters.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is 9 a.m. and we're out of executive session.
Have fun. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
I was following every vehicle. I think I hit the speed limit one time on my drive. It's like every A truck, every, oh my gosh, I'm going 35.
Hey, Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's 9:01 a.m. and we are here for a development services update with Jim Anderson.
Good morning. Got homework. Sorry.
Handouts.
Sorry. Everybody's
Man,
favorite.
I need my folders.
Everybody's favorite topic.
Oh, I'm missing a bunch of them.
I said something about this, our countertop being cleaned off.
That might have been our fault.
It was.
Ahead of the planning commission last Wednesday. Sorry.
They're in a secret spot.
Good morning, commissioners. Sorry, I know everybody's favorite topic, but trying to get ahead of next Tuesday's hearing for the development agreement between Grant County and the Seaver Krups and well, they have changed their name to SR Quincy Valley LLC. I know them as Silicon Ranch. We have gone round and round and round and round and round with our outside counsel, and I just want to draw attention for the last time for review and renewal of decommissioning security. So it's on page 4, and I've highlighted it for your convenience in yellow. So just as a refresher and a reminder, so we are renewing the decommissioning security every 5 years. So the power purchase agreement, standard power purchase agreements between the developer and the power purchaser is typically 20 years. So this developer agreement is going to renew, the decommissioning is going to renew every 5 years. And we have agreed to enter into a parent guarantee with this developer that basically says, well, it doesn't basically says, it exactly says that for the first 5 years, they have posted an estimate for the decommissioning of this facility for roughly $10 million. So the language in this section says that the cap by which the county can pursue them to decommission shall not exceed 150% of their estimate. So basically $15 million is the guarantee cap. So let's say, year number 4, for whatever reason, the facility, goes dead and we have to pursue them to decommission. We have up to $15 million by which to pursue them monetarily to decommission the facility. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So as we move forward, through, years 5, 10, 15, and 20, if at any one of these periods of renewal, they post a decommissioning estimate, and should their net worth fall below 250% of their guarantee cap, then they have to convert the parent guarantee into a bond. Okay? So for example, if so 15 million, let's see, times 250% is $37.5 million. So should their net worth fall below $37.5 million, then they have to convert the parent guarantee into a bond. So, and that is consistent for every single renewal. So at year 5, at year 10, at year 15, and then at year 20, if their net worth falls below 150% of the guarantee cap, they have to convert to a bond. So I need to point out that between year 15 and 20, they're going to be approaching the end of the power purchase agreement. So at the end of the power purchase agreement, we're going to be negotiating another renewal of the parent guarantee, and they also could have an expiring power purchase agreement. So the language in this developer agreement and the language in the hearing examiner's decision and the language in our code says that if you cease producing power for 3 years, you have to decommission. So I want to point out that the county is still secure with the parent guarantee, even if the power purchase agreement expires at year 20. So in this case, their power purchase agreement is with Grant PUD. So let's say we're at year 20, their power purchase agreement is expired, the facility has stopped generating power, and now we're in limbo. We're at a point where, where they are potentially trying to find a new buyer to sell power to, and if they're not successful, then they have to decommission within 3 years, and we will have identified at year 20 whether or not they have the financial ability to either continue or decommission, and if there's concern at year 20 whether or not they're viable to either continue or decommission, if their net worth has dropped, then we will have to turn it into a bond at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining it, because I
Yeah.
don't know how you did it, but you kind of resolved all the
Yeah.
issues with not having to go out for bond, figuring it out. So thank you for
You're-
doing all that extra homework to make
Yeah,
this work.
you're welcome, and that's why it was important for our outside counsel for me to address it today before obviously next Tuesday's hearing, because we have to have this finalized between ourselves and the developer by this Thursday at noon, so that we can get it to the clerk, so that it can be included in the agenda, obviously, for next week. So I just wanted to be perfectly clear that we have it covered, but it's very complicated. It's very, very complicated. So, and at any point, it doesn't have to be at year 20. At year 10, should again their net worth fall below 150% of the cap, it's gonna flip to a bond. So it's I feel like it's a great agreement. It's just one that we're going to be tied to for the life of the project. So in any event, there's really no other things to point out other than I want to point out number 5. So mitigation requirements. So the developer shall be required to provide compensation fee payable to the county for loss of area function and value of shrub step. So that is has been finalized by Fish and Wildlife and will now be part of the public record. So $2,985,184.70 for shrub step mitigation. We've talked about and beat to death the decommissioning and security. Right of entry, we will have right of entry into the facility, and so will any other agencies. And and setbacks. So one big part of this is, let me find it. We waived setbacks. So we waived internal setbacks because obviously this is a culmination of several parcels side by side by side. In order for it to be a contiguous project, we had to waive internal setbacks, which you can only do by way of developer agreement. So in 3, there's vested rights and there's exemptions to vested rights. And yeah, number 4, so waiver of setback requirements. So pursuant to note 5 of table 2 of chapter 2312 of the Unified Development Code, the setback standards imposed by the project by table 2 of chapter 2312 of the UDC is hereby waived for those lot lines within the boundaries of the project. Such waiver shall not apply to those lot lines that abut other properties outside of the project. So that's important to note, which is exclusive to this project, to this developer agreement. So in any event.
So Jim, where does the $2,985,184.70 the shrub step compensatory mitigation fee, where does that go?
Well, right now it goes into a set-aside account that we have to set up with Daryl, and we have to find a home for that money within 6 years. This money is targeted towards our pilot shrub step mitigation bank, so which is the code that we're attempting to stand up currently that will be in front of you in November. So chapter 2524. That pilot bank, that's where this money is targeted. Future monies like this, again, will go into a separate set-aside account, and we have to find projects for it, either mitigation projects or lands to purchase for shrub step mitigation, and that will be a challenge. Yeah.
And it has to be within Grant County.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I have in fact, I'll send you the invite if you care to join me. I've been invited to a Western States meeting with the United States Department of Fish and Wildlife and Washington Fish and Wildlife on this topic to try to figure out, what to do with this money, because people they don't have an answer.
Right.
And there's just not enough lands within Grant County, as you well know. So what I'm hoping to do, and I've invited our local conservation district, is partnering with them to use the money to not just for shrub step mitigation, but for our other critical area mitigation, and trying to find a way potentially to use it with our voluntary stewardship program and supplement or augment that program.
I think it's possible to buy like some of these CRP properties that are.
Yeah.
That are in CRP, and then we turn them into shrub step.
Right, which is what our pilot bank, what we're proposing to do in our pilot bank. I mean, we have right now, as soon as 2524 is stood up, I'm expecting to receive an application for a 1,000-acre pilot bank that is 750 of it is in CRP, and it has been planted for 10 years and is just ready to go. And to your point, so if they're talking about net gain, if they drill and plant shrub, yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect, but it's finding other parcels and willing participants to do that. But yeah, it's.
When is that meeting that you're not going to be on?
It is the 29th, I want to say. Uh-huh. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's the 29th. I will confirm that. Yeah, I'll confirm that.
Just email it to me.
And then we have this Wednesday, we have I think you've been invited to the meeting with Conservation Northwest in our office.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one. Yep, fun stuff. Okay, well, that's all I really had. This is important, but all I really had for the agenda for this week. Just as a reminder, we will be issuing. So next Tuesday is the hearing for this developer agreement at 3:30. We will be issuing the mechanical permit for this project on that day as well, and that'll start the 21-day appeal period for this project. Caitlin was kind enough to schedule another hearing for a developer agreement for Quincy Solar on October 7th. So we'll have another one of these in front of you here soon for that project. So, and then a bunch more after that. So.
We'll let the fun begin.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for explaining this.
We'll go into recess until 9:30 when we're back for Commissioner Office update. Good morning. It is 9:30 a.m. and we are here for Commissioner's Office update with Barb and Caitlin.
Good morning, Commissioners. First off, we did email you the documents for the meeting today, so pending decision spreadsheet. The date's still the same as.
The ADA path, they were working on it when we were there.
Oh, good.
The museum, they've really made some big changes in the museum, really cleaned it up and did a lot of good work.
Good. I'm glad. It's not completed yet to remove it from the pending decision.
We could probably remove it because they're in the process of working on it. I
Yeah.
think it'll be
I don't know when they were pouring the concrete, but they were
prepping it.
forming it up. So
But
should
it
be
closed
today.
as of today?
Yep.
9:15. That's great news. Do you have anything that you would like to add to the pending decision spreadsheet or any changes you would like to see made?
What, the small and attractive items, that's sensitive asset policy. That's still being worked on, or
To my knowledge, you might want to ask her at your next meeting.
Mandy, I think we probably have other pressing issues that we still need to.
Review of this week's public hearings. I don't believe I saw any.
Sounds like we have some next week.
Yes, some doozies next week. They're an hour scheduled for each one of them for next week, so. Review of this week's meetings. Do you have any questions on your calendar for your schedule this week? Rob, you have the state auditor meeting coming up tomorrow, solo. You have a department head review tomorrow as well for Jim McKiernan. Those are the ones that stood out to me. Okay. Calendar invitations, nada. Okay. And Miss Caitlin, a boards and committees update?
There's not anything wild. You have a recommendation of appointment from tourism that's on consent this week. But otherwise, we've received the first draft from the consultant for the homeless housing plan update. So it's getting reviewed by the service providers and the task force. They've got until Wednesday this week to send any requests for changes or information that the consultant needs. And then they'll probably be giving an update next week at the homeless housing task force meeting about where it's at from the responses that they got. I think it's only big stuff.
Okay. Next is the dais cleanup. I heard you mention it to Jim. It was the planning department who had the planning commission. There were, I think, 6 or 7 members sitting at your dais. So Rob, hopefully you found your files. They're upstairs in your office. And do we have an update on the filing cabinet for Rob?
He's got it.
Oh, he's got it.
It's just,
Perfect.
Small.
if he wants, yeah, if he wants
Like
something.
my files will fill it. If my files can't sit here, then that's not big enough.
So we can work with you to get something different.
I mean, yes. Although the request was made about 2 months ago, but
It never got to Kevin, the
I know.
request,
so
so.
I was talking to
Kevin's the one
Kevin
that
when I see
orders
him.
the.
I was just wanting some, I'm sure somebody
You're not
has
having
one
a,
there.
do you have this little desk, roll-away desk, roll-out desk?
No,
You don't have one? We were all supposed to have one.
no, I just have one file cabinet. It's just
This yours?
little drawers,
Oh, yeah, yours goes here. Sorry.
but it's full.
Somebody grabbed, sorry, Kevin.
I'm
But
glad
you did have a file cabinet.
I saw it.
I need two drawer filing cabinets. That would take
Oh,
care
I
of
see.
any
You're
mess.
not.
Everything else at my dais is not mine. It was here when I arrived.
Okay, yeah, we put all the stuff that was below there. Your old budget books, if you want to keep those. If not, you can let us know and
I don't think most of them were mine.
Rob, I think
They
you can just
weren't.
order a drawer, pull out the brand, and you just order a big drawer. And you can still, you can take these small drawers out. Wait, yours is way different than ours.
Yeah. He just needs another one for the other side, I think. You have something?
No, I have one. I just need like a, you know.
What filing cabinets do you need, son?
What's in this one?
This one I just got,
It's a fresh new one.
Oh, okay.
but it only goes side to side.
No, you, oh, that's weird. They can,
It's a file, it's a legal one.
okay, you can buy little kits, go on Amazon and buy little kits. They're a little metal and it'll come. You know what I'm talking about?
Barb's got
You
me
can change
covered.
it from that style to the.
It's a metal frame that sits in the drawer.
Kevin's probably got some.
We'll see how full she is.
so we can look for the,
But I did look at this because I saw the agenda and I thought, everything I have here that's mine, right there.
I need to just like clean up my,
and we moved your cups up to your office too.
Those I
sir.
need, I'm very thirsty.
Yes. So you can come visit us.
Well, Rob, do you want this? I just have my budget book that I
I'm
can.
good. I'm gonna fill this thing up and then I know that I'll get them taken care of.
I just need to start G-jacking it.
Just in case.
In case you want to clean
Dentist
off your.
office. I think I have a
your-
pack too.
I don't even know where they came from. I
It's
just
from-
opened the drawer and I'm like,
It's from Tom.
you know, you never know how long you're gonna be here, so you kind of just leave the stuff from before in there.
Right. Okay, yes, but there was quite a few people at the dais, so they just asked us for us to clean it up a bit. So Caitlin and I came down here and put stuff to the side and in boxes, so hopefully you can find everything. October flu shots. On September 8th, I received an email from the Columbia Basin Hospital asking if Grant County would be interested in hosting them for a flu shot clinic for county staff. They start in October and it's about 2 hours long. They bring all the supplies. The county would just need to get the word out for staff. On the same day, I had sent an email to Decorah and to Gina asking, to me, it just felt like their review and recommendation, but I never heard back. So I don't know if they have asked you guys about that. And if not, if that's something that the commissioners are interested in.
They have not, but the perfect time would probably be at our county barbecue. They
It's
wanted
in
to-
September though, this is October.
Oh.
They want to do it in October. We can see if they want to next week.
That would be the perfect time. Because sometimes when we host shots or little clinics, sometimes it happens during their breaks, some employees, some department heads or elected officials are very strict on you have 15 minutes, that's it, in and out. If you're gonna miss it, take. We've had that situation. Others don't really seem to care, but I think it's a good idea. But let's see if they can do it during our county barbecue. But that's just
One.
me.
Kevin, Rob,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll reach out and see if they can. If they can't in September, do you want to accept them in October?
I think that would be a good question for, we'll visit with HR about it.
Okay. And next.
But of course, Kevin and I are, really want it to happen since we're on the health district board.
I don't do flu shots.
You do flu shots?
Huh?
So did you say you don't do flu shots?
I don't.
Now you're griping about getting
Kevin's
sick.
pretty rough and tough. Nothing's gonna touch him.
Every time I get a flu shot, I get real sick that year.
Why don't do flu shots?
The next one, we just had a question for the commissioners. Whenever the time comes that an interim county administrator is chosen, accepted, whatever, we were wondering how the commissioners wanted us, or wanted whoever, to handle the announcement. Like, are you wanting a press release done since it's a new, big thing? Are you wanting just an all Grant County email? How would you like us to, just so we can prepare for it?
Well, since it's just kind of been in a transition piece, and I think the pieces have finally come together either the end of last week or this morning, so I would say we're probably ready to do a press release right now, that we do have an interim county director.
That's just gonna be is it gonna be an all county or a press release?
Or both?
I would do both.
We just work with HR and then let you know.
You will work with HR. Just want to make sure. Or
Yeah,
did you
we
want us
will
to
work
do
with
it?
HR because we have not announced anything,
Right.
so
You'll let us know if we can help.
then go forward from there.
Okay. And then the last thing I had is, we had that tourism master plan open house workshop thing last Monday. And he had asked me to record it and to make the recording available for whoever to watch it. The easiest way for me to do that is to post it on YouTube. But the only YouTube channels that I have access to post things to is BOE or the commissioners. So I wanted to ask the commissioners if it's okay to post that on your guys' YouTube page, so that way people can see it.
We sound like celebrities. We have our own YouTube page, yes.
That depends on if it's appropriate.
It is something
Yeah.
that we've been kind of
It
promoting.
was good. It was his best meeting since we've had him.
Something I can do is I can post it so it's private, so you can only watch it if you have the link, but also there's nothing stopping people from sharing the link. But that would just make it to where, like, if somebody goes to visit your guys' YouTube page, it won't pop up on all of the videos that are posted. So it won't interrupt, like, the series that we have going right now where it's your guys' meetings. That is something I can't do. That's just an option. And then we would just share the link to them, and whoever they share it with is whatever. So it's not really like
Yeah,
private. It just
that would
wouldn't
probably be the best way to
pop
do it.
up. But good, Rob? Okay, I will do that then. That. And then I know you guys have asked, a couple of you have asked, the fire district annexation, we've got the resolution drafted. It's up with legal for a final review. We just need to get a corrected certification of sufficiency from the auditor's office, but also Rebecca had said that she would be comfortable either way. If we had that, don't have it, whatever. So we're gonna reach out to elections to see about getting a corrected one. They just quoted the wrong RCW in it. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but the hope is that it will be on consent next week for you guys to review and sign.
For doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That is mostly Barb, and I just picked up the.
One last thing is last week on the commissioner's agenda, there was a vehicle vessel bill of sale. And we had the board scratch out Board of County Commissioners. Licensing wouldn't accept that. So we had to get a new bill of sale done. In my brain, I thought you've already approved it and done it. And if Rob just re-signs it, then we can move forward. Does that work?
Works for
We
me.
took action last week.
Just sign right there. Thanks. Any questions, comments, suggestions for us before we give it over to public records?
No, I do have a question on the animal outreach. Is Carrie on?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, I just want to know, did we put I thought we put $1 million in for animal outreach,
It was put in and then it was taken out the very same day.
but that was approved, but I thought on our final submittal to the state auditor, we had to return $1,000. Carrie, good morning.
Yep. Good morning.
Did we, on our final report for the CARES Act funding, did we allocate $1 million to animal outreach on that final report?
Yes, but it was under the BOCC because it had been rescinded.
So when you say it's under the BOCC, what does that mean?
That means it's under our lost revenue for Grant County Animal Outreach.
So the $1 million.
Because the agreement was rescinded, there was no beneficiary agreement or anything done with Grant County Animal Outreach. So it is sitting in our lost revenue and obligated to Grant County Animal Outreach.
$1 million.
Yes.
998,000.
Because we gave 2,000.
Yeah, because we paid that 2,000.
And we did that at that time because at that time the county was gonna build it.
Yeah, but we
And
did.
then I guess it never switched back. I thought it did, but it doesn't matter. I
But we
guess.
can take it out of
still
lost
use it.
revenue, yes, we just need to figure out, because I thought it was in the final report, so I'm just clarifying, it is in the final report that we submitted.
Yes.
Thank you, Carrie.
Great.
Hello, your turn.
I was on the phone.
See you, Barb.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Hi.
Morning.
Morning.
How are public records going?
Good. Same as always.
How are the videos? Is Mike on?
I don't know.
Uh,
Videos, same as normal. I mean, since we enacted the fee, I think it's been pretty much the same since then.
Hasn't gone down.
Well, it's gone down since we enacted the fee, but I just mean, I think the fee was enacted last year. So it went down pretty quickly after that, and it's kind of stayed since. We do still get requests from videos from involved parties. They still don't have to pay a fee, so we still have to process those. And we do still have people occasionally that will pay for them, but not very frequently. It's definitely a deterrent.
Do you feel you're up to date in like a month behind things, 2 weeks,
No, everything's pretty well.
pretty current?
Yeah, I check every day, make sure nothing's past due or getting close to being due. Our system keeps track of the due dates for everything, so we can sort them that way. So that makes it pretty easy to keep track of where you're at and what needs to be done next.
Anything else new and exciting? Do you have any
No.
good records requests right now or nothing exciting?
I don't think there's anything particularly noteworthy.
We went through like 4 years of exciting requests every day.
I guess maybe I don't think there's anything noteworthy or exciting.
Nothing involving us.
No.
Caitlin, is Mike here?
He is here today.
Do you want to see if you can jump in online, I guess, since we're having an update with his office, his department?
We have, I mean, there's the requests involving the commissioners that have been ongoing with installments for months, but I think those were before you started, Kevin, but those will just be ongoing until they're done.
Kevin, maybe you'll be lucky enough before election
Yeah.
year. I'm sure election year
That was before Kevin.
always picks up a notch. Next year will be a busy year.
Yeah, we had someone request pretty much all emails involving the commissioners for a long period of time, but it was before you started, so it's involving Danny and not you. I'm sure you're very disappointed. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Time will happen.
Just a matter of time.
It's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
really miss, truly miss to be cell phone and everything else
Yeah,
confiscated.
but nothing super exciting, I don't think. I mean, we get a lot of requests for sheriff's office incidents. We had quite a few regarding the shooting at the Gorge, but those have slowed down at this point, so. Yeah, nothing too exciting.
Barb asked him, so we'll see if he's, she said that she had talked to him when she got upstairs, so we'll see. If he walks in. He's on his way.
Well, thanks for the update.
Yeah,
See if there's any more new and exciting update to come in a second here.
I know. Just kind of trucking along on requests.
Never mind, we didn't want you to miss out on all the fun, I thought. You have a public
I was
works
finishing up
update.
on a phone call, sorry about that.
No worries, no worries, just, Emily said everything's kind of not really far behind, everything's moving along. Had
Yeah.
some rather big ones, videos have come down, reduced since we implemented the fee. And how is it going in, Mike, for you? Is it,
Everything's going pretty good. Had several requests that are addressing similar issues, so those have been kind of nice too, because we've been able to kind of do one and be able to respond to a couple. Have to do a couple of third-party notices for a couple of, based upon legal counsel's advice, to do that on a couple of requests that we came across, some things that they thought that there's an attorney involved in representing one of the parties, and so we're doing that. But yeah, pretty much, I think the body camera redaction fee, I have to agree, I think it's been successful. I know a lot of the other public records officers are anxious to try to do that. A lot of them have asked me for information regarding that, kind of how it happened. And at our last twice a year, they have a little clerical meeting where they invite public records officers from all different agencies and other clerks. We meet at Time Out Pizza, and last time I would put myself on the presenters list, I guess. They're always looking for somebody to kind of do something, to present something, and I explained that the kind of the process that we went through to get ours. And after that, several people came up to me and said, "Oh, we're looking forward to trying to do that too." So not only has it been effective, but I think it's popular, and a lot of other agencies want to move to try to get that in place if possible.
I felt like it was a good move on our part because we just had video after video. It was just rolling out the door.
I think back to the days that we did it, that we didn't have any fee. And every single request that came across for body cam meant that was going to take time to do that. And it was a frustrating proposition to understand and try to figure out how you're going to fit that into everything else that you had to do. So this is much better. Now, does everybody know about it? No, but we are informing them as we go. So
How long does it take you to look up those videos and send them out?
kind of depends. The average that the body cam redaction fee is based upon is 7. So for every minute, it's basically 7 times longer for the time to redact. And that's a pretty good average because sometimes it's quicker, it is, and sometimes it's a lot longer. Just depending on what you're following across your screen, just depending on what you're trying to keep behind a black box or a blur.
And Kevin, the problem is that we usually don't have one officer that responds. We have multiple. So then there's multiple video cam
Yes,
that have.
yes, and very rarely do you have one. The only time you have one is a traffic stop, normally. If a traffic stop didn't escalate to anything more than a traffic stop. And then sometimes people want to see those to try to remind themselves of what was, but those are always, well, I shouldn't say always, most of the time, 99% of the time, requested by the person that was being stopped. So there's no question on whether or not they get it or not. It's just a matter of getting it to them. And then the only thing that you have to look to redact on that is the exchange of the driver's license, basically. And then maybe when an officer goes back to his car, then his screen and things like that. So those are pretty straightforward. But most of the time, Cindy's right, we do have more than one, 2 or more normally. On the one that we have 3 requests on right now, it's an animal cruelty case out of Royal City, where Royal City is pretty much the jurisdiction that it took place in. The sheriff's office assisted. But we have 3 requests from those that people want everything.
Oh, I know which one. That was a bad one.
Everything. They want everything. But there's 3 of them. So it's just, I have to go through one and then move it over to the next one and move over to the next one. That's the one we have a third-party notice in, because we've come across some, in our email search, we've come across some emails that the attorney that's representing the city of Royal City is involved in. And our legal counsel thought that attorney should at least have a chance to decide whether or not they want to block these requests or not. So I'm just trying to finish up the request so I have all these email searches, so I have everything that I need, and then send it out to the requesters and the third-party notice out to the requesters and to the attorney and give them 10 days to decide whether or not, we'll give her 10 days to decide whether or not she wants to file an injunction to stop the requests. That one is a bad one, Cindy. I've shared this information with a couple people, but just to give you an idea of the situation out there, they had an expert that comes out that measures ammonia levels. I think I might have mentioned this to Kevin. And the toxic level is 1.5. Well, when they got to the driveway, it was 7 at the driveway. When they got into the place where this gal was living inside, she wasn't in the manufactured home. That had kind of been turned over to the dogs. She was staying in like a garden shed. It was inside, it was the highest they'd ever recorded, this gal had ever recorded, 55. Where this gal.
She's not hospitalized.
Yes, that was my first thought. Anyway, that's the one that has several different animal rights activist groups looking into getting everything. And so we're in the process of doing that, but had to kind of slow the process to do the third-party notice so that everyone's aware that, or at least the attorney that's representing the city of Royal City is aware that this is happening. And then she'll have the option to block it or not, and we'll see. But because there's 3 of them with 3 different requesters, I'm actually going to call her office and kind of explain this is coming so she doesn't get confused by these, like, I thought you already sent this over. Hey, I thought you already sent this over. Why are we doing it for a 3rd time? And just understand these are 3 separate requests, just so that they're aware of that so they can respond accordingly.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Sorry about that. Like I said, I knew, I was looking at my clock and the phone call. I know, I'll get off this, no problem.
Hey,
And then Barb was there waiting for you down there, like, oh, yeah, okay, gotta go.
Okay, well, thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys.
Let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
appreciate it. Thanks.
We'll go into a quick recess until 10 a.m.
Good morning. It is 10:02. We are here for the accounting auditor's office update. And we will be canceling this meeting and we will resume at 10:15 when we meet. It'll be the commissioner's work session.
Good morning, it's 10:16 a.m. and we are here for a commissioner work session. Commissioners, do you have any items for the work session? I don't.
Yeah, thank you for letting me go to that, kind of that Baldridge leadership training down in Portland. I did learn that we kind of, I think it was more a process, like each office, I know we have different silos, like offices and departments, but we really need to delve into our policy and some follow them. I was just looking at an email, on the dress code, we just need to kind of start looking at it, our policy, what's expected in our office, and start chipping away on that because we have policies and guidelines that we really don't follow. We pick and choose, so we need to be more consistent on that. They do have a Baldridge local training instead of the entire United States. They have kind of the Pacific Northwest where what we paid for Dell, it's like 10% or less. So Dell is sending 2 of his employees in the kind of the regional, the local training. And I reached out to Tom thinking this might be an opportunity for Tom just to do more on a local instead of going across the United States doing trainings. But some presenters were awesome. And I really enjoyed where they had the different attendees that went to the Baldridge, kind of what they learned. One was a pizza place in Seattle. They have like 39 pizza stores, 500 employees in their pizza. And I'd never heard of the pizza, but apparently if I was in Seattle, I would know of them. But he's like, we had to take the Baldridge motto and just dumb it down for our employees. But they kind of shared like some spreadsheets that they had. It was just really, he simplified it like, okay, this is something that we really could be doing. But I think as far as reaching out to our elected and department heads, elected officials and department heads, kind of just going through the policy and kind of upping our customer service and just kind of the expectations of our employees that, we don't just roll out of bed with whatever we're wearing, a sweatshirt and leggings and sweats, like let's just try to put a little effort in because a lot of times that people put effort into coming to see us and look professional and they sometimes far outweigh how we present ourselves. So I thought it was good, just little tidbits of information that we're kind of throwing about.
I think that's something that we're working on with the policy and procedures.
Yeah. I think it's just the little stuff like the customer service. It doesn't take a big effort and things that are expected that we've lowered the bar. Some have not.
Every day I wake up planning to wear a suit here.
Which areas do you think are lacking?
I think sometimes in some offices, we have excellent customer service, and I think in others, it's like people need to come to our office, so we don't need to. Just our customer, like we're not, if we were in
Any
competition.
office you go to that you have to go to usually is not great. If you need a passport, it's not a great experience. You need tabs, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
But if we had another building right across the street and we were in competition, our customer service would.
We wouldn't have any customers.
We would either, it would improve or we would no longer be in business. So we just need to look at, and I just think a part of it is just our expectations. We've lowered our expectations for our staff and it's just a professionalism is, it's we just need to raise the bar. But, include everybody in this slowly. Don't just roll it out quickly, but just like, okay, let's be mindful of how we're greeting people, how we're, maybe it's a 5-minute little video, like we require everybody to What we do, this is
Just because we're a government office doesn't mean that we shouldn't provide good customer service.
You should provide the best.
I would
But-
agree. I mean,
sometimes we don't have to because we're not in competition with anybody and they're gonna come because they have to come. Well, I thought it was just really good, the message and what am I gonna bring back? I think that's it, just
I
raising the bar.
full-heartedly agree.
how did it change? I mean, just
It's been that way for a long time.
didn't used to be that way. I mean,
The customer service or the.
Yeah.
I think it's just over time, people get relaxed and I think some offices have a lot of turnover.
Well, it depends on well, in some offices you're elected. You know, like if I saw our staff treat like a person that walked in pretty bad, I think I would be like, yo, that's not how we're gonna do this.
right.
So it probably depends on that person too.
Well, one time we had Cliff who was sitting out in the front, he would kind of direct traffic. Now we have our security officers that are very friendly and helpful and they will help.
Yeah, they also.
Direct.
like their-
But I know there were some offices that would be a little upset if they would come in and ask where, they're just, that's not part of their duties. Which is like,
No, it is
part of your duties is to serve the public, whether they're coming in to get
Absolutely.
whatever you're.
They're coming to see
working
you or
on.
somebody else. So-
And I think another one, Janice, I think brought it up, like in elections, apparently it's a really big deal that our elections, we don't allow anybody in the office. They have to look through cameras that are sometimes people are coming and going. So if we allowed like a seat in the elections, that would be something very simple. Hopefully we can accommodate so that they can see that because I think the trust is we're trying to hide something, which we're not.
I think we need to have that transparency for this next election, just to make sure that, people can sit in and see what's going on, so they don't feel like they're being,
I thought you could stand in there and watch if you wanted to.
they don't allow them.
No, they used to have people observe, but
It's got like Rita in there and Deidre. Well, Deidre works for us, but they have like public people in there that do the.
now they
ballots.
require them to sit in the outside and, because there's a camera. So which there was complaint because it's.
Just because there's not a lot of room in there or what?
Yeah, but I think, I wondered, there's a large counter. I wonder if we were to kind of shorten that counter and make that office area.
Or could you move the counting into like the Grand Coulee room for that?
Well, they have to be with the safe. They have to be locked in a safe. But there is a safe down there. There's a vault down there. There is a vault that's right there. So I don't know, maybe it's just, I think it's things like that when we,
Maybe we should talk to Tom about that and see if there's a way for us to do that. So,
and I know they have cabinets where when we asked about moving, Michelle said there were some cabinets that were made. We've tried to, but it's just little things like that. So we know there's a need, so let's try to answer it instead of, oh, we can't make it happen. But yeah, I think our customer service and we can work with our new county administrator and HR to see how we can start rolling out some of the
yeah, no,
customer service and actually answering the needs.
I know that there's been complaints about somebody not being able to sit in there and watch the ballots being counted. So if we could fix that, it'd be good.
So we can figure out a way. Then I think a little teamwork here.
Yeah.
And figure out if we need to move offices or.
So at our health board meeting, we had questions about changing the structure on our fee structure. So we decided to change some of that and also the hours of operation.
Okay.
They're gonna be open Friday from 8 to noon,
Oh, wonderful.
and then Monday through Thursday 8 to 4. And then they'll be closed the first Friday of the month. We're gonna try that until April, see how it goes.
Typically they're open till 5 or do they always close at 4?
They're always open until 5, they're gonna close at 4, so you can have that extra hour at night to finish up your paper. Which is, that's great. But the other thing was is, like they need to answer the phone. I just let it go to voicemail, and Teresa said that that's something they're gonna work on. It's not, having a live person answer the phone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. And we answer, hopefully answer the animal outreach, since that is in the budget, the funding. We need to figure out how to fix it.
Now that it's in the county's funds though, is it on our capital plan?
Well, it was on the capital. So I think it's just the county, the lost revenue portion that got moved
I just
to,
wanna-
but we still didn't, we need to, we submitted the intent to Commerce or whoever we submitted to. So we just need to,
I went to this thing on,
roads to opportunity. How was that?
it was good, it was well attended, and, there was a company there that had bought one of the old pot farms out there on
Uh-huh.
Brook Road. And they're planning to do some kind of, recycling,
Okay.
landfill recycling. The engineers that bought the property, they had investors that were gonna help them get it going, but then they lost their investor. They think they're gonna be able to put it together. I didn't get to talk to the guy much, so I gotta reach out to, a gentleman from the port, see if he can give me some of that information. Called Royal Rock, it's called, and they use salt rock to incinerate. They weren't at our table, but they were talking about it. And it's a waste energy type of. Tried to find some information, I couldn't find much on it.
Are they working with the Port of Madeline?
They, you know where that pot farm is up on Beverly Burke Road as you're going up the hill on the left?
Yeah.
I think that's where the property that they bought, that's where they're doing.
Right on Beverly Burke, right when you, I think you turn and there's a, either before, right before the hill. If you're gonna go down.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. Oh, county barbecue, what do I owe you for the funds for the county barbecue?
I don't know. It's gonna be probably like 115.
Okay, will you let us know?
Yeah, I need to just make sure that I order everything on time.
Do you want me to get something? What would you like me to get?
If we're gonna do potato salad, then
Do you need pop or water?
no. Just gonna do
Easy peasy.
Costco. That's the only reason I don't know the final price,
Okay.
because I don't know what Costco adds for their little fee
It is a little bit more, and I think they add another.
overall. I think the items are a little more, and then,
And then I think it's a $35 to $50
so,
little tip.
but, you know, if you're gonna drive there,
Sure makes it handy.
it costs you that much or more. But yeah, everything is done. I got my relish already. Haven't done my Cisco order.
What do you mean your relish?
You know, I got the squeeze bottle relishes and I had a
Oh,
Walmart pickup
okay.
order. So I just put it on there.
Maybe you're making homemade relish or something like
That'd be neat.
a lot of work.
So
Okay, well,
I'll
let
get
me
everything set
know
up.
what I need. What I can do. Thank you, Rob, for taking care of this.
Oh, yeah.
Makes it nice when you can get. it
That's
from one
what,
spot.
next week?
Yes.
What day, Wednesday?
Yes. So I did talk to Robert Weber about the fire district resolution. What they're asking is there are a few units, when I was pulling up the boundaries, units and parcels that are not in any, like these right through here, the non-colored ones, they're not in a fire district. So they're just trying to clean up all of these that are not, they've been asked to annex the parcel. So we should be getting to Fire District 10. I told Robert to drop it off
I have not seen anything from them yet.
Okay, from 10, they were gonna drop it off because they voted on it. And then we should be seeing some from other districts so we could do it as a whole, all the fire districts at once.
Well, so the way that it was before, so it is 10:30 till it's online, but the way that it was before is that if it was done by petition, we just needed the petition packet and the resolutions from the fire commissioners,
Okay,
and then we put it as a resolution on consent for the commissioners to
okay.
review and approve.
No
So
hearing.
Fire District 6 should hopefully be on consent next week, and then any additional ones we'll just,
Okay, add them on.
yeah, well, yeah, so whenever we get them, but
When we get them.
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense, okay. Yeah, I don't recall doing those, so I wasn't a whole lot of information for.
The last time one was done was back in 2017, so.
Okay, so we have done one, but I just don't remember the process, so thank you for working on that. Okay, well, I guess better roll into Dell's.
That was all right.
All right, it is 10:31 and we will roll into the renew update with Dell Anderson.
Morning, Dell.
Marndell.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Really good.
Good. Just a couple of updates for you this morning. On Friday, on Wednesday, we flew out to Portland and attended the the Performance Excellence Northwest Symposium. And that was a one-day symposium that we attended on Thursday and then returned Thursday evening. Cindy also joined us there, so it was great to have you there as well, Cindy. A couple of takeaways. The presentations were all really good, and they had a lot of great information on organizations that are performing really well and some of the different things that they do in their strategy, in their leadership development, employee recognition programs. And so really learning a lot about those types of things to see what we can do here in our department to improve the workplace culture and really ensure that we're providing good leadership development programming for our supervisors and managers. One of the groups that I took a lot of notes from was Chickasaw Nation over in Oklahoma, and they are a health district there serving the Chickasaw Nation tribe. And they've done a lot of work where within their strategy, they've also built in icons that represent each of their initiatives. And so whenever they're having a team meeting, whether that's at their senior leadership level or in their individual team meetings, if they're discussing any agenda item that ties the strategic plan, that a specific icon will be tied to that initiative. So then the staff would know that the work they're discussing ties right back to the strategic plan, and so they can see what value their individual work brings to the plan. And so I thought that was a really effective way to help tell that story for the staff of the work that they're doing on a daily basis, how that impacts the overall work or performance of the organization. There's a lot of work that was also discussed on having really good onboarding processes. And so how important that is for as you start to hire staff, really having a really good, strong onboarding process, bring them into culture, history of the organization, history of the county, helping them understand and buy into the work that we do. I thought that was important. One of the programs developed a workforce support team, and that workforce support team is responsible for standardized processes for onboarding and looking at engaging the employees from a employee experience standpoint. And so they've had some good results with that. And I thought, that would be good for our department as well, as where we don't have necessarily HR on site, but also just to have that kind of liaison group that employees can bring some of the issues to or through, so we can help work on things before they become bigger issues. And I thought this was a good comment too, that we want to, instead of giving everybody everything in the first 2 days of work, really kind of drip things in when it relates to the culture, the work performance and duties, but just make sure when people come in that you're giving them a time frame and giving them drips of information. So we're not overwhelming everybody on the very first 2 days of work with a lot of information that they're not going to remember. this organization also does a lot of professional recognition. I know that's been coming up in our employee satisfaction surveys, is a lack of employee recognition as far as like doing like employee of the month functions, or finding some way to recognize the professional groups. Sometimes we'll have like I believe it's in April or May, where it's Nurses Week. And what are we doing to celebrate the nurses that we have on staff, or the other professional groups that we have? The conflict we get into as a county, though, department, is that we can't gift for employees. And so trying to come up with recognition programs that don't, that's not giving a gift to somebody. And so that is one thing that is different being a county department and county program, that some of these other organizations are really robust in the ways that they do recognition programming. One program did, what was it, Cindy, a 10% incentive on the salary for meeting these
Oh my
certain,
gosh, every year, yes, if they're meeting
yeah, if they
benchmarks.
met this
First,
specific
second,
performance measure. And just some of those things aren't things that we're able to do as a county. And so trying to find ways of, okay, we know that employees want to be recognized for their efforts. What ways can we do that that would be appropriate, and that they'd feel the value that they bring, aside from giving money or giving some type of gift? So we'll brainstorm some of those types of things that we could potentially do to enhance that part of our programs. Chickasaw Nation also, through wallpaper design, have displayed their vision, mission, values, and all of their initiatives, including their quality initiatives and the staff productivity, is all visible, so so everybody sees it. And they don't name the staff, but they have a number on productivity, so everybody anytime walking through certain areas of the building would be able to see what anyone's productivity is. And so I thought that was interesting and neat. And sometimes that can create a competitive relationship with your team, so that people will want to perform or outperform. But it can also create a sense that those that may be underperforming might be feel like they're being put out there, and the team's recognizing that in some way. But I did like it. I did like that ability for us to be transparent with the production of all of our teams, and having a space inside the office where that's shared, that people could go by anytime and see how all of our teams are functioning, and what their productivity looks like. So I thought that was good. I thought overall the symposium was outstanding, and we were able to be there and hear from these organizations and to learn from them. So again, Cindy, I appreciated your presence there as well, and just to see that commitment from you guys as well.
Thank you, Dale.
And
I was just kind of sharing in my component that kind of what I brought back that we could do. Well, we have benchmarks and stuff. They really talked about benchmarks, but just increasing our customer service here, slowly, I guess the drip method, slowly rolling out countywide, like, hey, let's just work on maybe customer service, just slowly start hitting everybody. So if we just increase it a little bit, I mean, as a whole, we will rise, because
yes, yeah.
our standards are.
I was sharing with Cindy there too. One of the things I would love to see in the county is if there's like an overarching vision, mission, values, overarching strategy, that as departments that we are leading to that. And so even though we have our own department processes, we should all be rolling things up into something as an overarching county structure. And I think that would be a great way for us to not just work in silos as just individual departments, but for us to all be tied into the function and the performance of Grant County as a whole. And so whether that's leadership development or customer service, some of these initiatives that we could be looking at as a whole, but then each of us have our own goals and ways that we're going to meet that county initiative. And so I look forward to whenever the county administrator position is filled, and that's something that can be worked on, and we can start to push some of those things. But yeah, I came back with a lot of great resources, and moving forward, we will, as a department, be connecting with PENW, which is at Performance Excellence Northwest, and working through some different programs with them through their department. Any questions about the symposium?
Sound like it was
Th-
good.
Thank you in supporting us being there, absolutely. And then I want to make you aware that last Tuesday, we had GCTS come on site at the Yanazawa location. The walls had all been framed, and so we thought that'd be a good time to have IT come through and take a look at what we needed to add for network. IT did appreciate that. Joe had mentioned that they weren't aware that we were moving or had this in process, but they were so grateful that we were bringing them through as things were framed, because they said that usually when they come into one of the buildings, the walls are already up and then they've got to go through and drill. So at least this gave them the perspective of that's the electrical's not even in yet, and now they can make a plan on how we can work with Mober Professional Services in completing that task. The difference with IT and what Corbin Mober was planning was that he was going to have 2 drops for network in every office. And in the county, we require, I think, 6 to 8 drops. And so there will be a cost difference there that we'll be responsible for on our end. But Tom and Joe were able to walk through. Ricky came as well, and they were great walking through the space, letting us know what the needs were and what was going to be required by the county. And so just wanted to let you know, I thought that was a great way for us to keep them in the loop and to be there, because I know they have a lot going on, especially with the jail. So I just appreciate them coming over, and we're glad we can make that happen. Our next steps there is today at 11, we are meeting with individual from CDI Furniture, who's one of our state contracts, to take a look at creating a potential furniture budget for this. So we'll be ready to move in when it opens. And but yeah, I just appreciate that Tom was able to coordinate with us for a time for the team to come in. And then my last agenda item for you is on consent this week. I have a request for me to sign a DocuSign for a contract between Grant County doing business as Renew and the Department of Corrections. This is a contract that we've had for many years. Legal has reviewed it as well. And this allows us to do our DOSA services, which are the substance use assessments and services provided for the Department of Corrections. And so that request is requesting that I receive authorization to go ahead and sign that DocuSign. And that's all I have for you today. Do you guys have anything for me?
I don't think so. No, thank you. I did, just FYI, I reached out to Tom about possibly doing, I thought it was the Pacific Northwest, but doing the Baldwin Ridge Northwest, kind
Uh-huh.
of. So he may reach out to you to get a
Great.
little information, but yeah, I thought it would be definitely more affordable and
Yeah.
easier to, more attainable.
I'm even excited about the opportunity for if the county is interested in doing some type of community of excellence. I think that would be a great avenue to just have a discussion when we hire for the county administrator. So I just look forward to those things. So this would be great. Thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we'll take a 2-minute recess and be back at 10:45. It is 10:45 a.m. and we are back for our fairgrounds update with Jim McKiernan.
Howdy, everybody.
Hey, Jim.
Morning, Jim.
It's reminding me my update's happening right now. So the big thing is, again, that lighting grant. I know it's early prior to capital, but I do need to get some kind of yay or nay on that 225,000 matching funds before I submit that. I don't want to submit it and then find out we don't have that approved.
Is this for 2026?
Yeah, it's for 2026 capital. It's lighting along the green gate fence on the backside of the rodeo arena where it's extremely dark. We've had some concerns about that back there. In fact, we actually had a little bit of an incident this year. A slack contestant bumped into a person at the gate, a rodeo volunteer. I don't know if that would have helped at all, but it was definitely something that
Are they on a horse or walking?
the person was in a truck with a trailer. The mirror hit the person. The mirror hit the person, actually gave her a concussion. But she didn't want to press charges because the bad part was the person that hit her drove away. So police did
Did the
contact
person
her.
even know?
Yep. Oh, you can tell on the video that it happened. So
Well,
nice thing is we got all these cameras now. You can see pretty much everything. If somebody's doing anything, then. But anyway, it's just extremely dark back there, and it's probably an area that we want to get lit up. I can't think of too many more lighting
Jim,
projects.
I'm gonna back up. Somebody gets hit by a vehicle,
Mhm.
and I hope that we reach out, or at least contact the sheriff's office to reach out, because that is not right.
They did. Actually, the
Okay,
sheriff's office was involved,
okay,
and a report was filed, but the lady that got hit didn't want to press charges, and
okay.
so
I just sounded like we just dropped it and didn't investigate.
no.
For-
We actually provided the video and everything to the Rodeo Association, and they submitted the report with the sheriff's office. So,
Thank you. Okay.
huh? So I know Tom's probably pestering you about that same grant. Um, I guess we could submit it, and if for some reason it didn't get funded on our side, we could retract it or pull it back.
I mean, it's hard because that gate is used for realistically just that.
That's not true. So the
Well,
backside of those rodeo.
How long will it take to pay for that $225,000 from the use of the rodeo arena?
Well, our biggest events use all of those stalls. So I guess the question
Those
to me,
stalls are pretty well lit up.
no, they're not. The 80 rodeo stalls are not very well lit up.
Okay.
The surrounding area, so
Inside.
the area inside the stalls is, but the surrounding area around those stalls is extremely dark.
That would just be my question is, okay, it's got a 9-year payoff. Okay, well, what's the safety risk concerns also?
That's more my concern.
Yeah, but the payoff also is obviously a concern.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of risk versus liability versus risk. So that's my only concern.
Yeah, which is easy to go to, and I understand and agree, but I just look at I don't know. I would like to know that anyways, what the arena brings in. You can include those stalls also.
Yeah, we use them like this weekend. We use it for the NBHA finals because we have so many horses on the ground. So all of our big events that we do, Wasatch State, Barrel Days, Sand Cup, PGW, NBHA finals, all of those events use the rodeo stalls.
And they all
And
come
so-
in at age too, right?
And they'll use the green parking lot because we force people to go out there if they do not stall and they want to tie to their trailers. So that's the reason that that's one of the reasons that I'd like to get it lit up. But I mean, if the commissioners decide that that's not something they want to do, then I'm fine with that.
Is there a
That's
way
really-
to get the how long it would take to recoup those funds? Just to kind of know.
Wait,
I
Jim,
mean,
I just want to know,
it's on what would that even be? The east side of the
Yeah,
arena?
the east side of it.
it's right here?
Yeah, all that. Oh, no.
No, it's the other way. It's towards,
Wait, okay, this is how it's held.
Towards the
East,
alley.
right here,
yeah.
right here.
I can
Okay, I'm
pull up
seeing-
a picture.
It's dark
It'll be
on
all this back.
midway.
Okay. Okay. And we have horse stalls back there?
80.
Yeah, because this has all been taken out,
Okay.
so they're back in this area.
We are asking Erlinson to
This
maybe
parking
do us.
lot would be lit up too, though, 'cause that parking lot, it would share light with the parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah, we have security lighting similar to what we did for the blue parking lot on that east side of the Southfield area.
So the project is 500,000, we just need to match 250,000.
225, so it's the estimate is slightly under 450 about 436 or something like that. And so I just always add a little contingency to that because you just never know. So 450, 225 each matching funds from the Washington State Fairs Association through the WSDA.
Is there any other grant money we could get for that lighting project?
Is there other grant money?
Yeah,
The infrastructure, we could do SIP, they could apply for
It's
an SIP.
It would be different if it was replacing a bunch of lighting, but it's not. It's actually in addition to what we currently have. Um, I think there probably would be some savings. I mean, I can spend a little time looking and see, but it would be if we were replacing existing lighting that was extremely expensive to operate, then it would be a different story. I think there'd be a lot of opportunities to get other grants. Well, I think there'd be some opportunities. I don't know how many.
LTAC,
What's that?
LTAC.
I mean,
LTAC I mean, that's a
That's
possibility too. I can submit for tourism funding on that to see if the 225 would come from that. The problem is I wouldn't know that until after I have to submit it to the state.
Well, I would say go ahead and submit it to the state because we've always been pretty lucky getting funds. If you can get it, we will work to find funding,
Find out if we have
offset that.
funding.
And if not, the worst that would happen is we would just have to say, I'm sorry, but we can't do it this year.
Yep, we can do that too. And we've been really lucky on getting those grants. We've gotten several from the Washington State Fairs Association.
yeah, it's amazing. The lighting is amazing. The carnival area was great, but for me, I do want to see what the arena and those stalls bring in annually in profit, just so that we know, okay, $225,000 is going to take 15 years just to pay for the lighting that's added. Just so that, I mean, for me, I just like to know things like that.
Well, yeah, there's a balance of knowing, again, going back to liability and risk, and then how much does the capital that is invested in the fairgrounds get paid back? And I don't know that we've ever used that model as a way of justifying expenditures at the fairgrounds, other than the horse stalls themselves, which we generate $20 a night per stall. That's probably the only project that we could say would justify the expenditure would be the addition of the horse stalls as far as a business case or payback case. So what I'm hearing is I can submit it and then we'll figure out if that's something we can do or not.
I'm good with the submittal. I'm just requesting that I see a breakdown of the arena and what it brings in.
how many stalls are back there, Jim?
80 times 20, $1,600 a night times, I mean, I can give it to you in about 2 seconds. Times, probably get used 20 times. It generates about $32,000 a year in revenue.
Plus
Those 80
arena.
Those 80 stalls. The arena doesn't generate much. It only gets used 2 or 3 times a year for monster trucks. Well, the rodeo association itself generated $43,000 in revenue this year.
So it's safe to say it brings in about 60 grand a year right now.
Yeah, that's pretty safe. And I do think, I know one of the questions has been, can we add more events to the rodeo arena? And I think we can. The problem is finding the staff and stuff to do events. Like PBR would be a great thing to bring in. Do it in June, partner with the Rodeo Association to provide the volunteers to run the event. Now that we've got a pretty greased skid with the Rodeo Association as far as events go, I think that's something we could pursue.
Yeah, I think the only way we're gonna get that is if we get the better sound system and an announcer's booth out there.
Yeah, we're waiting for, Tom's probably told you he's waiting for All Play Sports to give us the final estimate on what that announcer stand would cost. A sound system's about $100,000. I did have that spec'd out this year. And I was going to bring it up at Capitol. That's one I really struggled to justify, because it's not a safety. There's no risk if we don't provide it, but we do need a sound system out there.
But yeah, but when you're out there in those demo cars and they can't hear you in those demo cars and they just keep going.
Oh, I know. And this system that we had spec'd out would be kind of based on the other sound system that we put in for the Harwood and Ardell and outside that area. It's a very,
Jim,
very good
is there
system.
a possibility of using matching funds for that?
I mean, I could submit it and see what happens. I definitely have I just got the quote from VIP Productions out of Spokane. It's similar to the system that we installed already in the Harwood and Ardell, and then outside in center field area. I could definitely submit that. I mean, it doesn't say anything you can't submit more than one grant.
Worth a try.
Yeah. Then we'd only need 50,000 matching funds. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm working on our LTAC submissions and also our summaries of the fair. The food booth is pretty much done, and I kind of started leaning towards Cindy's thinking. I don't know that I have time to manage the food booth. And so I think what we want to do is potentially put a nonprofit in there and let them have at it, maybe give them some suggestions as to the menu. It's pretty well laid out. I had Jordan look at it the other day. I haven't shown Rob that yet, but I think it'd be worth taking a look at it, Rob, and see what you think. And then don't forget, we have our volunteer appreciation dinner on Thursday. And if any of you want to come, please just let us know so that we can. Flannel Fest ticket sales are going well, well ahead of last year, which is a good thing. And our marketing focused a little bit more on Wenatchee, the Tri-Cities, and Spokane. And so I think that, in fact, you'll hear us on the radio on 102.1 in the mornings. They're doing giveaways of tickets. As our marketing ramps up, we did do some marketing with, I think it's the KPQ, the radio station. It's the classic rock station in Wenatchee. And so it's going pretty well. So we're excited. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. So just to summarize, I'll put together a grant app for the sound system too. How's that sound?
I think it's, yep.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. And I'll submit them both and we'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We will recess for 1 minute.
First one's the original, and then the second one's the one I worked on. I'll go over it in a moment.
Good morning, it's 11 a.m. and we are here for a risk and safety coordinator update with Blair Cope.
Good morning. Just wanted to go over the claims update since we last met. We've had a couple of claims since we've met. A couple of them just came in to me on the 29th. Just got this claim last week. Sheriff's Office had a claim involving an officer. Did turn it into the insurance company, so it's claim number W1790 on Dodson Road Southwest and Road 12. One of our deputies was responding to a officer in distress. There was an officer involved down there and was responding. Was passing a semi in the left lane, lights going, siren going. Semi had his turn signal on, but was stopped or moving very slowly. Was trying to pass him, and then
At the intersection.
And it got clipped in the back. Significant damage to the rear quarter panel of our vehicle. No damage to the semi. Officer was uninjured. Don't know if the semi driver saw him or not, but we have damage. We're waiting to see what WSP's collision report says on that. So we're waiting on that. On the 2nd, the clerk's office, one of their employees was replacing the 5-gallon water for their water filtration system they have. They strained their lower back. They just filled out a report letting us
Do they
know.
not have fountain water?
I don't know. They just have a 5 gallons and they were replacing it. They have a cooler system back there. So they were replacing it.
We tried to get rid of all the coolers, because technically that's since we provide water,
Mhm.
we did, I don't know if we've done a review. I know this sounds crazy, it's probably not even in your bailiwick, but the taxpayer should not be paying water for offices.
I
They
don't,
can buy their own,
yeah.
but since we provide water, as long as it's filtered like our drinking system.
Mhm. So I don't know if we're paying for it or if it was, I can look into that.
Sometimes we have to do a cleanup and
Okay.
all of a sudden people start ordering water, but
So I will look into that.
unless we don't have drinking fountains over there, and I believe we have drinking fountains over there. If we need to. That's just me. Let me
Sure.
ask my other 2 commissioners.
Where was this at?
It's in their break room,
And who's breaking?
clerks.
Look into it a little more, find out.
I can look into it, see who's paying for it. If it's, I can.
Yeah, well, I thought, let's just do, because we haven't done it for a while. It slowly starts getting thrown in there that, and I don't believe we haven't in the past paid for water.
Okay.
Unless it's some, the hot days where we had a situation we couldn't drink the water here.
Mhm.
But that is an option. Kind of like food, we don't pay for food for their lunch. So the water, we provide water.
Is there a filtration system in the room?
I don't know. I will start working on, as I start going out and around, start looking into, do they have those type of things?
We don't have filtration in our break room.
Nope.
I drink that. It tastes different some days.
Yep, but we also have the
Yeah, outside.
outside.
We would put that first so we can.
Okay.
I'm just sure the taxpayers would appreciate if we bought our own water, or paid for our own water versus the
Mhm.
taxpayers buying
Sure,
water.
sure. Okay, I will look into that.
Thank you.
Yep. On the 8th, Public Works, they were putting gravel on a road. While backing, they came into a low hanging telephone wire and pulled it off the pole. So with the dump truck, so. we're
It
getting-
must have been lifted up.
Yep, they were lifting up. They had to get speed and they saw one line, but they didn't see the other line and they hit that one. So that was taken care of. On the 10th, Public Works again, we're backing with a loader, front loader, hit their light pole by their loading dock. So that was being taken care of. Also on the 10th, while closing a tail box lid, fingers were too close and pinched their fingertip. Just filled it out. It's more of just to let us know. It's just nice to know. On the 7th, Sheriff's Office, WD was responding. So this was turned into the insurance company. It turned into 2 claims. So it's W-1791 and W-1792 because it involves our vehicle and then a member of the public. Was responding to an officer had a suspect running on them. They were on Broadway and 3rd to go around a semi. They were in the turn lane, red light. Did clear the intersection and collided with impact with a member of the public. So
We hit a member of the public.
a vehicle of the public, yeah. Significant damage to both vehicles. So we have to, I'll talk to the sheriff's the office about that. But we have to stop at lights, even though it's red. Even at green lights, we're supposed to slow down. We're trained. That's what we're trained to do with. And then also on the 14th, Sheriff's Office deputy, while making an arrest, got blood on them, just turned it in to let us know, just a precaution. I asked some questions, just waiting to hear back on that. Just so for you guys, Shane Heston and I will be working on the WCRG renewal paperwork this week. We should be finalizing the paperwork and getting that turned in. And then I did turn in, I handed you guys some papers. There's 2 packets. The first one, on the top of it, there's an O on it. It's the original from Kat Brennan from Public Works. This is for the special events that she kind of built out. And then the second one is the one I did. I went through it and added some extra questions. So when you flip it, I'm not great at putting it. So when you flip it, you'll see it's upside down. So you'll have to look at it. Questions I added as you go through it. I added some different things on it, check boxes, and trying to put more information so we can get more information on it. I'd like to see what you guys think of it and go from there. So some of the things I added were what type of event. So like, is it a baby shower, is it, fundraiser, graduation, parade, party, so stuff like that. And then if there's gonna be security, what kind of security? If emergency services are gonna be there, so they have nurses, doctors, stuff like that for us. And then if it's gonna alcohol, what kind of alcohol is gonna be served? Beer, wine, champagne, mixed drinks, or a full bar. It's kind of important to know. And then if it's live music, what kind of music? So. And then towards the last page, second to last page, or the last page, the penile bond. Talked to Daryl about that a little bit. It's $5,000. It's just it's in red, trying to decide, are we gonna do this? It's on the one I did. We'd have to enforce it and then try to talk to the counties that are doing it. And going forward with that, it's going to be your guys' decision. Because we have to find out how, if an event does damage, how are we going to prove it? So it's going to be your guys' call on that.
Are other counties doing that?
Some are not. With events, if they're bringing in money to the county, it's a good thing for us. But not every event is filling these out, so we don't know about this. And so if an event or a location, a wedding venue is not filling these out, what's the repercussion of them not doing it? Are we going to have fines or something like that that's to be levied against them? So that's going to be your guys' call on that. Is there going to be an ordinance passed for not having this?
Well, then who's going to enforce it?
And that's going to be it.
That's the issue that I have with an event application process in general, is if you have a venue that's not licensed or permitted through development services, and they're operating weddings and parties or whatever,
and
now you're going to require an event to have a permit, it's like you're not even enforcing the actual structure that could burn to the ground.
Well, and that's going to be the whole thing, is we would make sure it was licensed and stuff like that. It would be going hand in hand, for that, because that is a huge liability for us. Because if it's going and we know about it, that's a huge liability for us, allowing a business to operate. So, for the fire marshal, I know for him, it's hard for him because he's a single person. As he grows, that department will be easier for him, but it's a hand in hand as we grow.
See, that's where when I look at the venues, I look at it like a couple different things, right? There's permitting but there's also like the marshal saying like, this is not safe.
Yep.
And documenting it there you go. You're going to do what you're going to do when I leave. But this is not safe. This shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, and it's going to be a multiple prong approach. It's going to be the fire marshal, it's going to be sheriffs, and it's going to be the commissioners, and then I'll try to help out however I can too, because it's risk management. It's protecting the county. So it's
Yeah,
gonna,
venues is so hard when it comes to
it is,
electeds.
it
You know,
is.
because I'm pro business, pro event, make
Exactly.
your money. But you should also have to follow the same rules as others have.
Exactly. And if not, it's gonna affect, because if something goes wrong, the county's gonna get blamed.
Yeah.
Because why didn't we step up and stop that from happening?
Well, especially when we have multiple calls to the venue
Mm-hmm.
and nothing changes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be working on setting the procedure, setting the rules of how we're gonna deal with it. So it's just gonna be following guidelines that we set up. So I think this is the first step of, this is what we're gonna do, but then also working with development services, saying, hey, this is what we have. Is there anything else you want
I know
added?
Leary is 60 days for Moser is probably gonna be perfect, but I think there are some individuals that will throw something together with.
Yeah, like an event.
A random
It's
like,
30, 60 days is fine, but like
I'm gonna have a rodeo, or we're gonna have a little get together, and I just worry about, oh, we missed the 60 days, so I'm not gonna.
what's the person number for needing a permit?
What was that?
Like how many attendees?
And that's something we can try to figure out and work on, is trying to figure out the thresholds and stuff like that. But it's something we can discuss and work on, but it's gonna be
I
working
think
with
it might be
multiple.
trigger, yeah, something, whether it's, I'm gonna say, well, yeah, if we had less than 50 people, or, but we
Yeah,
think
I
they
mean,
had.
if you have a bunch of friends over at your house and you have a big yard and you're on the water or whatever, and you're having a small friendly event, I
Yeah.
don't see why you would need
I think when if you're charging money for
But if you're
something,
charging
it
money
turns into an event,
and
it just triggers it.
you're getting income from it, I think.
Yeah, if it's income based, yeah, then they're gonna be this, it's 60 days, but if it's a small gathering of stuff like that, or
But then.
if alcohol's involved,
Is it 60 days? Okay, is it for one day? Or what if you have an event that's longer?
I think that's something we're gonna have to discuss. It's gonna be the multiple departments coming together and discussing it. And so,
I would like to do an executive session for about a minute with Blair's before Daryl comes in.
sure,
Is that all right?
sure.
For what?
For a,
Evaluation or?
yeah, we could do evaluation.
Okay, we're going to have a quick executive session going in at 11:14, returning at 11:16. We let Daryl know we're gonna be in executive session for job applicant / evaluation, RCW 42.301101G.
Jimmy, this is the.
Good morning, it's 11:18 a.m. and we are here for a treasurer's office update with Daryl Pheasant.
All right, well, on Friday, my Carrie and Sable was in a meeting learning Tyler technology. That was supposed to be for a couple hours. Carrie was there for the whole day, talking to Mandy, trying to figure out how everything's gonna work with our finance package. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Carrie yet of how everything's gonna mesh. We have getting some tax payments in now. We sent a lot of refunds and corrected statements based on all the changes of the assessor's office recently. The interest rates are going down. We're getting more calls. Right now, it's just nothing's good to replace what's in the state pool. Eventually, we'll have a normal curve and things will make it more worthwhile. We'll see what happens this week on the interest rate, what the Fed does with interest rates. Yep. I've been almost done with the state report, and I have a different one coming up, and it's a big one regarding refund levies and all the amounts that we made available to the taxing districts. I've had taxing districts call me and talk to that are concerned about the lack of information coming from the other department. That's not coming in timely for them to make decisions on their levy certifications, things like that. They're afraid it's going to come way late again this year. But they've been given no assurance as to what she's gonna do, and if they're gonna get that information on time or not. But I've talked to some angry representatives of school districts who weren't happy with last year, and they're afraid it's gonna just happen again.
Yeah, they came up in our meeting here on Thursday with the FREDA. They are not happy about it.
No,
The numbers are way off.
we're, of course, we're getting a lot of information delays. It's hard to give reports if I don't get the information to give to you. So I'm still waiting for July information to fill out last month's report that I had empty. And we're not sure, is everything going fine with the gorge? Anything word about how attendance is going? Has it, for the shows they have had?
They have fewer shows this
Right,
year.
right, but have they been selling out, or besides fewer shows is lesser audiences? Which is a double wham against our budget. So I won't, just got the call, and I'm glad that is near the end of October. It'll give me an idea for hopefully a lot of these revenues on that. Anyone go to Quincy Consumer Awareness Days? This is the first time I didn't go. The problem is the parking lots are so far away from the things I want to go to that I wouldn't have been able to make the walk. Even if I parked on the other side of the grass where the vehicles were, that would have been too far. I missed my first Rotary barbecue. It's been a long time. I always go to the Rotary barbecue there. And so, nope, it's pretty quiet right now. We're trying to get everything caught up. Still have a lot of sales happening that are good, and sales keep showing being at least 15-20% above assessed value, the assessed value. So things aren't even leveling. There's still demand, and they're picking up. And I read somewhere where we were one of the top in the state regarding sales growth from a year ago of actual sales that were finalized. So we're still got a quite an active market or we just had a really lousy year last year, so not much of a benchmark.
Last year seemed like it was busier than this year.
I don't remember if I brought up, well, I think I did. I finally sent my donation to the Grant County GCJ News.
What is that?
A Grant County Journal.news. I think it's going to be a good vehicle for us, additional vehicle for us for getting the word out and get back to hopefully the old reporting style of Randy Brock. And they have a person that's going to be covering the courthouse better and more often. So beware of those opportunities to get your message out. So.
Yeah, the Freedom Forward is thinking about doing some publications as well, quarterly publications.
Right. So, yeah. So they're a 501c3. So, and nothing much else happening. I'll send another letter to Melissa asking for the information that I was supposed to get in February. But yeah, I think I brought this up. Yeah, we just need to know if she is struggling with the math or if she's waiting for an update that's supposed to happen, I believe, this week and hoping the update does it, but I don't know what she's planning to do because we can't move money at all this year if I don't get the numbers to know how much to give to take out of the taxing districts and give to the TIF. And the taxing districts don't know this is happening yet. They don't know they're going to have money taken out of their accounts for this. And so, but I can't if we don't have the information to tell them, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know if the assessors are struggling with this. Been trying to get an idea from Department of Revenue of what's going on, or if they're in charge now, because we can't do anything without the data. And I'm not in control of that. So unless my emails are going to spam.
You should send a certified letter.
We'll see. So, okay, right. The problem is upstairs signs them, not the actual department. So that still doesn't guarantee that they actually opened it up. So, all right, that's about all I have for today. So,
All right, Daryl.
all right,
Thank you, sir.
thank you
Thanks,
very
Daryl.
much.
We're going to recess until 11:30 when we're back at New Hope.
And Susie always prints the agenda for you guys, so.
Oh, she knows. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning. It is 11:31 a.m. and we will be going into our New Hope Kids Hope update.
All right,
Good
so
morning.
good morning, Alyssa Adolson. I'm filling in for Susie today.
Is it one S or two S's?
One S.
It's right here.
Oh, well, I didn't see
But-
that yet.
But it's not phonetically spelled anyway. You would probably like be Lisa or something, but it's Alyssa. So she just wanted to give a little bit updates on our programs. We did have Battle of the Badge where Valor and B threw out the first pitch. It was really cute. New Hope, they're preparing for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is in October. They'll have the purple straws at the coffee stands all around Grant, I think even Adams County, different coffee stands around. They completed the Man Up event at the fair, and the estimated funds raised were $8,000, which is the biggest year yet. So thank you to everybody that participated in that.
Did you guys do the Othello, the Adams County?
No.
Just called the Othello Road.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just a Moses Lake.
Just Moses Lake, yeah. Final contracts were received from Commerce finally. They're now under review at legal team, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 of our contracts we've finally gotten and are now under review. I think that was all the updates. The 2 things she had about policy revisions, they're on your consent agenda for tomorrow. And essentially it's the same policies we've always had, but we're going through reaccreditation for Kids Hope, which is next month. I think you're all aware of that. But we had to add some emergency evacuation and protocol if an abuser enters our building, what would we do, that sort of thing. And so that's what's been added to both of the policy and procedures that we're updating. It's just a little information at the very end of those policies. And then the last thing she had on the list was the NCA accreditation prep visit, which is, you guys are scheduled for October 16th at 2:30. And she just wanted me to kind of have a discussion or give you some information about what they might be asking you so you're prepared. And she did print the strategic plan for you guys. I don't know if you guys just want to keep this copy. It's very program oriented, not governance oriented strategic plan. So it's kind of our policies and procedures, our goals and objectives around, funding and accreditation, outreach, visibility, that sort of thing. That's what our strategic plan looks like. They might have questions about it, probably more generalized questions. They go all across the country doing these things. So to be really familiar with every single centers is probably not likely, but some general questions around that. Just making sure you know what the Children's Advocacy does, our purpose, who we serve, that sort of thing. They might ask questions like, do you have policies? Yeah, we have policies. Do you have governance, liability insurance, audits, background checks, which we do all of those. So I don't know if you guys had any questions about accreditation or what that might look like. All of our partners actually go through it. So we have time slots for every partner we work for. So that includes the prosecutor's office, law enforcement. Since we serve so many jurisdictions, we're just picking kind of 4 law enforcement detectives or sergeants that have been there a little bit, worked with us a little more than maybe some of the newer ones. We have DCYF that comes in for these interviews, mental health, medical provider, our staff from New Hope will all be interviewed as well. So
And when did you say that was?
that's 2:30 on October 16th is when you guys are scheduled for. I think you're the last meeting of the day.
I thought we talked about it last week.
That's all I have.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I
You
got.
guys have any questions for Alyssa?
Well, thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah. Do you guys want a copy of this just so you can,
Sure.
I think you guys probably have it somewhere, but.
I think we do, but
Who wants
anyway.
You want it?
Sure.
There you go, we got it, and Kevin can. Thank you, Alyssa.
All right, thank you.
All right, we will go into a quick recess until 1 p.m. when we are back for position management. Good afternoon, it is 1 p.m. and we are here with HR for position management review.
Dan, would you like to kick us off today since Missy is here and?
I'm gonna let Missy fill in.
I didn't know where you wanted me. I've got one. Yes, we want you right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And
Sure.
I don't know, is Mandy here today? I believe she's here, but she canceled her update this morning. I can shoot her a message and see if she's gonna join us.
Alright. So the position that we are discussing today would be a new position, and it would be in the assessor's office, and the position would be an appraiser 1. As you can kind of see on the business needs summary, this is due to a business need due to an elevated level of work scope. And Missy and I have talked offline about the request for adding another position, another appraiser, just because the staff there. My concern on the HR side is just it's very overwhelming for the staff, and there's the possibility of burnout. Missy and I talked about her intent to look at down the road in 2026 asking for another appraiser, but has indicated she has an underrun in her budget so that we could actually move forward with filling the position now. And my concern with not doing so, again, just on the HR side, and then I'll let Missy kind of speak to the particulars on the business need side, is that in addition to their current work scope, which is growing, and then they're doing a reval next year, which includes the Wolves Lake area, and the fact that they're trying to also learn a new system and use a new system, it's very overwhelming for the staff. My concern with burnout is that usually that means there's a possibility of excessive attrition, which would be devastating, so.
And to give some history, when I came in 2015, we actually did have 7 appraisers. We had 54,000 parcels at the time. We were actually actively moving to get which we still don't have, we're actually getting it next month, a field module, which at the time with 54,000 parcels and having that many, when we did, someone quit we were like, we can handle that with 6. However, we're up to just about 68,000 parcels now. And so even though we're broken up into 6 revals, it's a lot of work. We had, just in this last reval, 10,256. That's not including new construction. So we had an additional 4,783 building permits. So that's a total of 15,039 parcels that have to be worked by 6 people. It's a lot. And
How far away are you from getting a fill module?
we're being, well, hopefully, Keith is in a meeting right now that I'm supposed to be at. If he can get them logged in, we'll be getting it next month. But even if we get a field module, that is still
Gonna take some time to learn it.
well, and that's still gonna be a whole heck of a lot of work for 6 people. I know I work more than 40 hours a week, but I'm elected. I signed up for that. Matt tries to take on a lot. He's getting burnt out. Luckily, he's on a vacation this week. There's many times where she'll say, I just kick him out of the office. It's like, yeah, you come in at 7 and you're working till 7 and no, you need to go spend some time with your kids. And he's been doing that for years too. So it's just.
It's time.
Yeah, there's a breaking point. We kind of we're one of those was like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll just work more. We'll work longer. But again, one person can only do so much. And now I've got a lot of people that they're starting to get burnt out. And I don't want to burn out my employees. I have good employees. We're a good team. They do a good job. They do work more than one person. They're given 200% every day, but when you have unprecedented growth, so when we went to PAX, we were at 62,000, which was 2 years ago, and now we're just under 68. And we've still got developers developing. And I did, when I gave that person that position up, it was so another office did not have to lay off or, get rid of someone. I'm a team player. I try to give back. I watch my budget very closely. I usually dedicate my access to the HR department because you guys always have legal fees. But we're just at a point where, and I'll I always continue to do that. I'm very fiscally conservative, but you got to manage growth at some point, and we're at that point.
You have office space?
Yeah, because we have that dedicated spot that we gave up. We have a desk space, yeah. Yeah, the computer's there, the desk is there. It's just sitting. They're just sitting, so. The only extra expense we would have is we would have to get another field module, but that's an iPad and a license, so that would be minimal.
So typically Mandy's here, she looks at your budget, says whether you have funds, but you sound like you're on top of it.
So yeah, what I did was I had money to buy originally 2 Jeeps, but Barry's went out of business. So I worked with Public Works. We went like a base Ford Bronco with the Sasquatch suspension for our ag vehicles, and that gave me a $55,000 savings. So I was going to just hand it back to the county. So that's, and then I'm hoping I can trim off a little bit more here and there, but I don't have my my printing and mailing fees for change of value notices. That usually is up $40,000 to $50,000. That one hurts everyone. every year. It just keeps going up, but.
So payroll policy, I don't see anything that would make this non-compliant, so I think we're good there. HR, all the documents are in place, position already exists, it's just a new FTE. Commissioners, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
As long as it's budgetable.
I would have liked to have seen it done a couple months ago.
Better late than
Yeah, I have no
never.
other questions. Thank you, Missy.
Thanks, Cindy, I didn't know you were there.
Missy, will you be requesting another FTE for your 2026 cycle, or is this the one? Okay.
Yeah, we're at a point where I was going to wait for the budget process just because I've talked to other electeds who've gone through this and they're like, yeah, it's a waste of your time. And it was like, okay, I'm already behind. I only have X amount of time and energy to expend. So do I hope for the best and get farther behind here, or do I go for it? In you know, talking with Dan and Matt and the appraisers, they're just like, we are currently trying to get our reval out. We want to get our notices out earlier. We're still late. Hopefully in November they'll be able to go out. And that's the problem, is we're rushing everything all the time just to barely make it, and we're not meeting deadlines. And we just have it. We did not. I mean, it is growing so fast, and we need it.
Well, hopefully you'll find that this process is not as cumbersome or painful as somebody may have said to you.
It was not. You know, you just got to have your facts, and again, communication with HR.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. You guys know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I will bring this forward to the board for decision tomorrow.
Do I need to be there? Okay.
Unless you want to, you're welcome to come. Otherwise, we'll just run it through and then Dan can let you know.
Okay, that would be great because I'm actually in a training tomorrow. Okay. Wednesday. I'm in my office. I'm just in a webinar. So, yeah, I'll be working and training at the same time. So.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, Jonathan.
I need to hook up to the. You betcha.
And Susie, you can hear us okay?
I sure can.
Great. Okay. Will you help me?
I got you.
Thank you. I don't want to whip you.
Sorry, you mentioned it. That's okay.
Which request are we doing first, Jonathan?
The domestic violence high-risk teams coordinator.
Okay, I'm gonna move over here so I can see. Oh, and then I'll be in the way. I'll come this way. There we go.
So, New Hope has received funding and for a brand new position. And it's called the Domestic Violence High Risk Teams Coordinator position. And Susie, can you see the PowerPoint okay?
I sure can. It looks great.
Okay, I'll turn it over to you and I'll run the PowerPoint.
Sounds good. Thanks for accommodating me being remote. I appreciate that. And before I even get started, a huge thanks to Jonathan, who's helped me prep all of this work to get a couple of requests before you today. So the DVHRT coordinator position, commissioners have heard about this already because we have been listed as the 8th highest in the state for high-risk domestic violence cases. And Department of Commerce put out some special funding that would go for programs that were able to respond to the high risk. And they came to us, they asked us. It's not competitive funding, which is really refreshing. It's also work that we're already doing. It's not really anything new. It has legislative mandates that back the work and support it. And what also is a little exciting about this is it's for 4 years. Typically, I look at a 1-year grant cycle, sometimes 2, but this one is for 4 years. And then Adams County is on board for the next cohort, which will start next year and will go for 4 years. So that's exciting. The current challenges, I don't see any. I followed the format that Jonathan gave me for my PowerPoint, and I really don't see any challenges. I've already briefed Chief Sands from Moses Lake PD and Sheriff Crete. They are on board. We are set to do an orientation in a couple of weeks with the technical assistance providers on this grant that come from the Geiger Institute. And I really don't see any challenges. So the next slide. So basically the request is, it's really simple. Can we create this position as soon as possible? Because you approved the grant last week on consent and we're able to go. We're able to move forward with Commerce. We have that contract in place. And the only thing holding us back is getting someone hired and trained and up and running. So the benefits and the impact obviously is to our community with the 8th highest ranking in the state for high risk domestic violence. You know, it really is important that we get this response in our community. It encourages coordination amongst different partners and like law enforcement, prosecution. It will improve victim safety. It will empower victims so that once they gain some skills and some safety, then hopefully they can just march on through life safe. It will, on that prosecution and law enforcement side of things, it will increase accountability for the offenders out there. And there'll be some ongoing ways that we assess for high risk cases. And that will happen with our partners at the Geiger Institute. They're going to come in and provide training to law enforcement, to us. And when I say law enforcement, it's going to be all the frontline patrol folks and getting everybody on board so that we all are doing this assessment. We're learning through it. We're working out the kinks. So it will also, I'm hoping, build community trust and public safety. Next slide. So the cost, they're really, there's new funding, so that's super exciting. We will use the full $80,000 that's allocated for this year one. Year one started in July, according to Commerce. So I don't even know that we're going to need to borrow that $10,000 from our STOP grant to make this work. I think we're getting a late start that it's going to compensate just fine. Year two, we're going to go up to $100,000, and then they look at coming back down in years 3 and 4 so that we can look at sustainability. Once we learn this practice and grow this practice, especially with our partners, law enforcement, prosecution, that it's going to just become innate, that we will inherently assess for high risk situations and the response will be in place. We're going to duplicate all that next year for Adams County, so we will even have more funding. And hopefully that all makes sense. Any questions about the DV High-Risk Teams Coordinator?
I have one. The wages, I know that the comps were hard to come up with, but the funding that you did receive, does that also cover any equipment that this position might need?
Yeah, it'll cover everything. We have a laptop ready to go. We have a space and a desk and all that ready to go.
Thank you.
Mhm.
It's in the budget, or you've got it budgeted.
Really
see-
excited.
Payroll policy or process, commissioners?
I don't have any, we talked about this here once already, I believe. Got all the funding, so.
You're super quiet, Kevin. I could barely.
Sorry,
That's okay.
got a little bit of a cold.
He just said that he would, that he had already heard about it, so through you, so, and it was good, he didn't have any questions, so tomorrow I'll bring this back to the HR meeting for discussion and decision. And on to the next one, you want me to pass these out?
Yeah, I have, there's two.
Okay.
Cora, for tomorrow, I mean, I'm assuming it's for both of these requests, but are you gonna need me to be present for that? Or that's what this time is for?
Nope, you don't need to be present.
Perfect.
Okay, fine. Is this mine?
Yeah, that's for you, yeah.
Yep, no, you're good, Susie, we'll let you know after our meeting.
Fabulous. Okay. The New Hope manager positions. This is also something that isn't really new. I worked on this last year and then we were facing some funding cuts, so I put it all on pause. But this has been kind of a work in progress for a while, for a long time. I've been the director and the supervisor of all the employees, and then a few years back, we put in a manager position to help with supervision and the running of day-to-day program stuff with New Hope. And then that person was no longer in the position. We didn't have anybody apply to refill it, so we made a decision to promote a couple of long-term staff into leads. And then it was very much a trial. And it's kind of stuck because we couldn't move anywhere with worried a little bit about funding. Well, the funding has stabilized, and with HR's, it's okay to go ahead and advance, with HR's progress towards getting like job families classified in the same way and to do a little bit more consistency across the county. I feel like it's a little bit of a head start with what they're doing on all the job description review. And Jonathan's helped me get this categorized and named just right. So the work on, or the diagram on the left, the kind of funky looking org chart with only one purple box, is the New Hope leads. And then what I'm proposing we do is jump over to the right where those leads become managers. We've already made the change at Kids Hope to go from a coordinator to the Kids Hope manager. It was only a title change. And that does fit really well with HR's project on their salary study and job description project. So that's my hope. Next slide. So the current challenges, I kind of dove into this a little bit, is the history that it feels like it's taken a while to get this rolling. And we started in 2022 and here we are in 2025, and I feel like we're gonna probably nail it with this. This is a good solution. We paid stipends for a little while for the leads, and then we made that lead position permanent. And what I feel is lacking is still just doesn't quite fit the job that they're doing. They are managers. They're doing supervision and management of the domestic violence, sexual assault, and general crimes program. So I feel like what we're doing currently isn't working so well and not a good fit, and what I'm proposing will be. The wage that we had in place really didn't match the responsibility. I've always felt kind of bad about that. And they supervise over 5 staff. They are over multiple programs, so it's different dynamics. It's supervising staff in the domestic violence realm, in the sexual assault realm, and also in the general crimes world. So it's a lot of shifting gears. And they're also on call and sharing the on-call responsibility 24/7. Even when they're not on call, they're the backup on call to support staff. And they manage a shelter, they manage crisis, they help implement a crisis response. They manage outstations. So we have offices all over Grant and Adams counties, and they're managing that. And they're managing some prevention work. So what we really want is some consistency across the New Hope, Kids Hope world, where the title of manager is really consistent with like jobs. And you see, funding is not a current challenge. I've already written them into the budget this year. I have to do my program budget starting July 1. So even back in April, May, June, when I was writing budgets for my grants, they're already written in at the elevated step level that we're proposing. Next slide. So the request is, I guess number one is probably jumping ahead a little bit, but we would like to eliminate the lead positions from our roster and then create the 2 manager positions. One of the positions is going to do support and development, and the other one is going to do the prevention and outstation management. Jonathan helped me take a really deep dive into the work that the 2 leads are doing, and we created these titles that fit our program needs and actually fit the work that the 2 leads are doing. Let me see. Approve the job descriptions. I believe that's already gone through with HR. And if this request gets approved, then I think that'll just slide in for approval, right, Decorah? I'm not sure. And then setting the band, and I know Jonathan has helped me with this because, yeah, we are very unique. There's not a lot of comps out there across the state. So Jonathan's had to get really creative, and he developed actually a little handout. Have you already handed that out, Jonathan?
Yes.
Yes, yep.
And I'm going to hand it back to you.
Thank you, Susie. Like Susie was saying, it was really difficult for us to determine the appropriate band for these management positions. Ultimately, our goal was to have that equivalency across the board with the Kids Hope Manager and New Hope Manager. So since it's such a specialized position and not many counties have it, finding the appropriate band was challenging. So we really did a lot of research, and we went and looked at a couple of current positions within the county with similar responsibilities, requirements, and scope, even though they may be in a specific realm, but generally speaking, much of it is quite similar. On the first page there, under educational and experience requirements, the 2 positions there at the top are the 2 positions that we are proposing to create. As you see, we compared them with the case manager supervisor with district court and the the case manager supervisor with Renew and the community court program coordinator with district court. And fortunately for us, that community court program coordinator job description was recently updated in February. So when we did the comparisons, it was very handy to help us justify the band that we were looking into. As you see here, all of these positions require at least some type of higher education, and also the preferred requirements are pretty much similar across. And if you look the 4th column over to the right, justification for equal pay, a lot of the equivalencies are quite similar, especially when it comes to competencies at the professional level. There may be some specialties within each one, but generally speaking, within the state of the community and with mental health and also with dealing with domestic violence and dealing with those type of issues. Those are very similar. On the second page under core responsibilities, you'll see that the similar scopes are very similar between all of these positions. With leadership and supervision, all four direct staff, they direct volunteers, they direct program operations. All four of them do that. All four require managing people and programs, and they all require leadership. The next one down under program and service delivery. Each of these positions deal with case management, treatment planning, and prevention services. They have to deal with the courts in each of these positions, as well as supporting those people that need the services. And they're all ensure the critical outcome to meet vulnerable populations. The third one under compliance and standards, they all have to meet very similar, some of them the same WACs and RCWs. They have a high degree of accountability and community and agency collaboration. All four positions work with the courts, the schools, the healthcare, social services, and they all require some sort of representation role externally. The fourth, when it comes to documentation and reporting, all four of these positions, they require some sort of documentation with client files and working with clients, program tracking, billing, and grant. And then under the justification, they all have pretty much an equal workload. So we took those 5 things and determined that it was really safe to say that if you look at number 3, all of them have extremely similar scopes. And so we were able to justify that because of the professional entry-level requirements and also at least the secondary requirements and all of the leadership and the oversight and also the accountability and the compliance with the laws, we felt like that justified the band 14. All positions impact the community, and we feel quite confident that we have selected the appropriate band to meet the requirements and also justify the decision.
Budgets, Susie's already spoke to budget. She has this full amount in her budget from July.
How's this one compared to how we're holding on the majority of the requests to change?
Well, and I was just gonna say, after I kind of went through this, these were in the works with Jonathan and Susie. They have been for a few months now, so I am comfortable moving this one forward. Compensation Connections knows that they're coming. We just needed to get through this. So I think this is the last ones.
Yep. Once these are approved, the final reorganization will be complete for New Hope.
There won't be any more reclassifications sitting out there. So
I see on this, it says retro to July 1st, 2025. Is that still the case, or is that?
I would really like to do that only because they have been the 2 leads whose positions will change to the manager, have been a huge part of helping rewrite the job description, helping with the analysis of it, and then helping me pass that along to Jonathan. And because it's been a work in progress for so long, there's no stipends that have been going to them for almost a year. And yeah, I would really like for it to go back to July 1 because that's when I wrote it in the budget. I penciled it in for July 1. So across all of our contracts, it's already penciled in at that amount. Not pencil, it's in pen.
The leads, you went to 4 originally, but you went from what, 2 managers to 4 leads and now back to 2 managers?
I went from 1 manager
to 4 leads.
To 4 leads.
And then 2
now to 2
left.
managers.
She didn't backfill those 2, and so now she's
Promoting basically the 2 that stayed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And reviewing the new org chart, it makes sense to me. Susie and Jonathan have worked hard on making this and it remaining stable, correct, Susie?
Yeah, I mean, the stability is probably what I'm longing for the most. I feel like what they are doing right now is manager level and they're not being compensated for that. So, they're strong leaders already in our department, and giving them that title and a pay bump, it really does help with the continuing the wonderful stability that New Hope and Kids Hope has. We don't have vacancies very often.
So Susie, if I may, the two current leads, both of their skill sets fit into each one of these new titles?
Very
Or
much.
how would you differentiate which one goes where?
So I've been really cautious, and that's been a couple of conversations I've had with Jonathan, that we're not creating titles that fit the two people who are there. But what does my department need? And my department needs some support and development for the staff and the team. And that would include supporting the shelter and the facility. And then my team needs a manager who can really help with the outstations, more the outward facing things, the outstations in our prevention work in the community. So creating those two positions that meet the needs of our agency. And then it does definitely match Tara and Debbie. So they will slide right in.
How do you know which one you're gonna place into which position? Or is it gonna be open for recruitment and then they can apply?
No, we will just be promoting. Debbie is very much our prevention and outstation person. She's spent a lot of her time with New Hope over the past 2 decades working in outstations in Mattawa and Quincy and Royal City, and doing prevention work in the schools. So that's a natural fit for her. Tara's already supervising the shelter advocate and works on facilities and compliance issues and developing staff. So it's really in her wheelhouse already, promoting her.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioners have any questions?
No,
Okay.
that was the only question I had.
Nothing else? Okay, we'll bring them back tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us. And that is all we have today.
Anything for HR?
You're having fun. So we're gonna continue.
You're having fun.
Randomly make up new positions if you like, but
A really, really long titled one with lots of corporate fancy words.
lots of words in it.
Cindy, do you have anything for PMRT? She's
No,
gone.
she's
All
gone.
right. Well, thanks for coming. We'll go into recess until
Add a compliance in there and you've got a deal.
1:45 of Commissioner work session. Good afternoon. It is 1:46 p.m. and we're here for a Commissioner work session. Yeah, I didn't read this one. They have been wanting to meet with me for a bit. They weren't available when I was available, and now they want to meet.
Let me trying to figure out how you'd even do a horse trail. I mean,
Well, their idea is that they use the railroad. The problem is that the railroad is privately owned by a business.
that's a possibility that that can happen. But
Yeah,
now,
it's
purchased by somebody else.
Yeah, it's a
So that's a
possibility someday.
But you're talking about taking off the rail and everything else.
Yeah, and people want a multi-use trail, and of course people aren't gonna want UTVs on it, and UTV people want an alternative route to the sand dunes. But Moses Lake Trails and Planning, one time I went to a meeting that they had scheduled with me, and I sat there for like an hour and no one ever showed up. That was like 2 years ago. I was like, "Oh." Then they called asking why I hadn't set up a meeting with them.
But I don't understand, if you have a horse, why wouldn't you have a trailer to take it out to the sand dunes and ride your horse?
I don't know.
Or do you wanna go ride it? I mean, that does not really
You know where I would ride a horse if I had a horse? Is the one on like, what's it called? The John Wayne Trail? Is that what it's called? Or the Trans Cascade Trail? Or I don't know what they call it. That's where I'd ride a horse.
There's a place out at Black Rock. Out there, right? There's a lot of places to go right.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer for that one there. I'd probably start with riding a horse and seeing where I would want to ride it.
Ride mine down to Cascade Park and take it swimming.
Oh, that's cool.
Meet all the girls at the campground.
Do you have any items for work session? Barb, do you have any items for work session?
Barb, are you awake?
I am. The only thing I was going to say, I just sent you another email from Kathy Bonet, the former mayor of Wilson Creek. She will be potentially here tomorrow. And Kevin, since you're her commissioner, you might want to make it you that reaches out to her per Caitlin's email last week.
I was wondering if that would be my duties or not.
Yes, sir.
Have we had an update from Public Works on that, the contractors?
Tomorrow.
And last week, they still hadn't heard anything yet, so.
Supposed to be an offer today, I think.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna vote maybe today. I don't know. Okay, I'll call her.
Great.
All right, we will go into recess until 2 p.m. Good afternoon, it is 2 p.m. and we are here for a meeting with Rochelle and Cooley Creative update.
Thanks for meeting with me. I was hoping to talk to you guys about the current structure of Grant County's tourism marketing efforts. As you guys know, we've kind of had a rocky year last year, just lots of changes and growing pains. I've really enjoyed my role with Grant County as a marketing director, but I have really seen an area where clarifying roles between the committee and myself could really improve communication and efficiency and the outcomes of the marketing. So I was hoping to talk about that with you guys today. I did create a document that would outline kind of the proposed roles and responsibilities of my position, the Tourism Advisory Committee, and then some ongoing collaboration and communication. I will give these to you guys. Caitlin, do you want one too? Yeah.
Thank you.
This document is not a final proposal. I was just hoping to use it as a point for discussion. I was hoping that I could request a conversation, ideally with you, the commissioners, and the committee, where we could review the document together, hopefully align our expectations, and finalize something that both serves the county and anyone in my role. I think that this will help avoid any confusion, improve efficiency, and have a clear foundation going forward.
So looking to go from a manager to to a director.
Yes.
Would you make that request at the time of your contract?
Yes.
Have you talked to your tourism board about it?
Not this document itself, but I have had conversations about having clearer defined roles and just having a better outline of what each of their roles and my roles are.
Okay. Any questions on this, Kevin?
I'm assuming that the LTAC committee is becoming an issue as far as getting things done.
Absolutely.
Tourism committee.
Yes. Yeah, the tourism committee, not LTAC. Yeah, we've had quite a few situations that they're getting involved in the tactical work, and it's just becoming a lot harder to do my job efficiently.
They're not really being a team player, in other words. They're causing more problems than not.
Is there something you're looking for from us on this?
As I kind of mentioned, I was just kind of hoping that we could all have a conversation together. Maybe you guys can define what you have expectations for with me and with them. I do get a lot of feedback from the tourism committee that they're very wanting to please you and follow your recommendations. And so I just would love to have a conversation between all of us to know exactly what those are, and it's not hearsay and push back under the wrong impression, I guess.
Do you have any further stuff that you would say if you are not online and if we're in executive session, or are you good with what you've presented?
I'm okay with what I presented.
Okay.
So what could we do better to help the situation that we're in right now?
I think just having those conversations and really letting the tourism committee know what your expectations are of them and of me.
Caitlin can probably help us with some of that since she's been involved.
She's a witness.
Unless she doesn't want to.
I am open to whatever the commissioners direct.
Well, I just think between the two, I think you guys are more involved than we are, so you have a better grasp of what's going on, and it could probably help us figure that out. Well, where the direction we need to go.
We could look at the calendar and see what times are available. If you guys are wanting to do a meeting with all of tourism and Rochelle, or if you're wanting to do just the chair and vice chair, or however you guys would like to proceed.
I think maybe just the chair and the vice chair would probably be more productive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would like to do a meeting with them and then a meeting with Rochelle and them. I'd like one with them before though. Anything else?
That's it.
That was fast.
Yeah,
8 minutes.
straight to the point.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Do you have anything for me? Anything you'd like to see from me?
Not at this time.
Great. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, it is 2:09 p.m. I don't see any additional meetings, so we will adjourn for today and be back tomorrow at 8:30 for consent agenda review.